If there was a way that you could turn your brain back to how it was working 10 years ago, most people would take that. And people with mild cognitive impairment would definitely take that. And there is a group of people with mild cognitive impairment who got that, which was great for them, and it would be great for you if you could do what they did and get the benefit they got, which is what I want to talk about today. Hi, I'm Tony Daring of GoCogno.com, the website for people with mild cognitive impairment. I do these videos every week, and people often ask me, what are you going to do when you run out of topics to talk about? And I'm like, are you kidding me? We live in a time of explosive research about MCI. Really, the bulk of the research in brain health now focuses on mild cognitive impairment, and new findings are coming out every day. When I see something new come out that is important to people with mild cognitive impairment and shows them something they can do right now, today, to get a potential cognitive benefit, I'm going to share it with you, especially when the results are as dramatic as there were in a study that was just done at Duke University. This was called the Enlighten study. It involved 160 adults with an average age of 65, and all of these people had mild cognitive impairment and were sedentary and had at least one cardiovascular risk factor. So they broke these people down into 4 groups. The first group exercised regularly. The second group worked with a nutritionist to improve their diet, in this case following what's called the DASH diet. Of the others, some got both exercise and dietary improvements, and some didn't do anything. The people who exercise showed a measurable improvement in executive function, which is good and was expected. We know that exercise can be good for cognition. But here's what really stood out. The people who did both, the people who exercised and ate according to the DASH diet, showed a really significant improvement in executive function. According to the Harvard Health Letter, it was the equivalent of reversing brain aging by nearly 10 years. Now, to be clear, this was a small study, and it did not seem to affect memory and language in the same way that it affected executive function. But this was a phase 3 clinical trial, which is the highest level of scientific research, and it underscores the importance of healthy behaviors in potentially slowing or even halting cognitive decline, or, as happened in this case, even significantly improving cognition. So, if you're concerned about your cognition and looking for things that you can do, exercise and diet are 2 good places to start and may even work better when you combine the 2 of them. With exercise, the people in this study did 35 minutes of walking or riding an exercise bike 3 times a week. But you don't have to go to the gym. Any kind of physical activity that moderately raises your heart rate can do. In terms of diet, the DASH diet was used in this study, and it's a good choice. But the Mediterranean diet, or the MIND diet, which combines the best brain health elements of both the Mediterranean and the DASH diets, is even more associated with cognitive health. So what's the bottom line here? I've got 2 takeaways for you today. First, these things your doctor is telling you to do, they really can work. And second, as the Harvard Health Letter reminds us, it's never too late to start. If you're already doing these things, good for you. Keep it up. If you want to do these things, and you know you should, and you feel you're ready to start, I invite you to watch this video where I show you a proven strategy for health behavior change. It's easy, backed by science, and remarkably effective. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again next week. Until then, as always, be kind to your mind.